"That's not gravy, you fool," my siblings mocked me when I stepped up. "A family all started with, 'That's not gravy, you fool.'" My siblings burst out laughing when I offered to care for Dad. Now they're turning on me after discovering I'm a millionaire. They labeled me a lunch lady and excluded me from the family's plans for Dad's care. Then my name appeared as a keynote speaker at a 10,000 attendee restaurant industry summit. That's when everything unraveled. My family never let me forget I was the odd one out, the misfit, the underdog. Every Christmas, my sister Veronica would spot me helping Mom in the kitchen. "June, you've got to aim higher," she'd say. "You can't keep hiding in kitchens forever." My older brother, Derek, would chime in, "At least finish your degree first," flaunting his Ivy League pedigree. Thanks, guys, I hadn't considered that. Their homes had gated driveways and three-car garages. I lived in a one-bedroom apartment near the train tracks, taking the bus to work. They drove luxury SUVs with heated seats. At Mom's birthday dinners, they'd order fancy wine while I sipped water. But there was something they didn't know: I'd built a restaurant consulting business from my tiny apartment. It started with a spreadsheet and a calculator, fueled by late-night Instagram posts and word-of-mouth referrals. Nothing glamorous, just me, researching trends and designing systems until 4 a.m. My clients included a dozen steakhouses and 3 major downtown hotels. I earned between $5,000 and $25,000 per project, depending on the scope. After expenses, I cleared $340,000 last year. I never told my family because, honestly, I liked flying under the radar. Then Dad had a stroke, a massive one that left him severely impaired. No one bothered to tell me. I found out during a weekly phone call with Mom, who let it slip. "Your siblings aren't around," she said. "They're trying to figure out what to do about Dad." "Oh, what happened?" I asked calmly, knowing Mom would clam up if I pushed too hard. That's when she spilled it. My siblings had started a group chat without me. I hung up and called Derek. "Hey, was it a mistake that I wasn't included in the conversation about Dad?" He snapped back, talking to me like I was a child. "June, let's be realistic. Quality care facilities cost $8,000 a month. If you can scrape together something from your little side hustle, maybe you can visit him once a month." I told him I'd take care of Dad myself. He actually snorted. "What, you're going to move him into that shoebox you call home? June, Dad needs round-the-clock medical care, not you mashing potatoes in plastic bags." Veronica jumped on the call. "Derek's right. We're talking grown-up decisions here, not something you can handle on a lunch lady's paycheck." "Quality facilities," they said, as if I'd just toss Dad some fries and call it a day. That weekend, I did something that would make their smug comments sting. I flew out to tour houses for sale. Dad loves ranch-style homes with wide hallways and a main-floor master suite, so I found the perfect fit and made a cash offer $20,000 above asking. While my siblings debated who'd handle Dad's meds, I hired contractors to install ramps and a wheelchair-accessible shower. I interviewed home health agencies until I found the perfect team. Meanwhile, my siblings sent links to nursing homes an hour away from everyone. We moved Dad in. I didn't tell anyone. I just showed up at the hospital with the medical transport I'd arranged. Derek was there discussing a temporary facility with a social worker. "It's handled," I said, signing the discharge papers. "Dad's coming home with me." Veronica let out her signature sharp, bitter laugh. "June, stop. This is pathetic. You can barely afford your own life." My younger brother, Trevor, finally spoke up. "Let her try and fail. She'll come crawling back in a week when reality hits." I cared for Dad while running my business. He sat at my kitchen table, watching me sort paperwork, sharing stories from his military days. My siblings rarely visited. Veronica claimed she was too busy. Derek said he didn't want to deal with traffic. Trevor stopped replying to texts. But they kept scheming in their group chat. Mom would mention their endless debates about long-term care facilities, as if waiting for me to fail. Then something incredible happened, and it came in a big, bold way. Veronica's nosy husband spotted my name on a speaker board at a restaurant industry conference. June Mitchell, transforming struggling restaurants into million-dollar successes. He snapped a photo and sent it to the family group chat with 3 question marks. I just laughed and turned off my phone. When I woke up, my phone was flooded with dozens of texts and missed calls. The first voicemail was hostile. The second was accusatory. By the 11th, they were almost begging to talk. Veronica sent the first text I opened. "Pathological liar," all caps. Then another, "How dare you hide this from us while we were stressed about Dad's expenses." I set my phone down and focused on making Dad's breakfast. my hand steady as I scrambled his eggs just the way he liked, creamy with a touch of butter. The phone kept buzzing, its vibrations nudging the salt shaker across the counter. Dad noticed the noise from his wheelchair, his good hand reaching for the phone out of curiosity. "Just family drama," I said, setting his plate on the tray attached to his chair. "It can wait until after breakfast." The phone rang again, Derek's name flashed on the screen. I answered on speaker while adjusting Dad's tray, knowing he'd want to hear the chaos unfold. "Fraud," Derek shouted. "Identity theft. Corporate deception. I'm on to you, June. This charade ends now." Dad's eyes widened, his good hand gripping his fork tighter, but I kept my voice even. "I never lied to anyone, Derek. I just didn't correct your assumptions about my life." He snapped. "You let us think you were broke. You watched us stress over Dad's care costs while you sat on a fortune. I'll expose you, June. I'll tell everyone from Lincoln Elementary what kind of person you really are. They should know their lunch lady is a con artist." The call cut off. Dad's gaze stayed locked on me, his face more alert than it had been in weeks. A knock at the door broke the silence. Mrs. Lee, my neighbor, stood on my porch holding a casserole dish, looking concerned. "I heard yelling," she said, glancing between me and Dad. "Everything okay?" I accepted the dish, her third that week, knowing she'd refuse payment and probably chat with Dad about their shared love of classic war movies. She'd noticed the medical equipment and upgrades I'd installed, often commenting on how well I cared for him. "Family drama," I said, smiling. "We're managing," she squeezed my arm. "Your dad's lucky to have you. Not many daughters would do what you're doing." As she left, my phone pinged with a new text from Veronica. "On my way. You've got some explaining to do." I helped Dad finish breakfast and prepped him for physical therapy, scheduled for 8 a.m. as I gathered his exercise bands. A car door slammed outside, followed by another. Veronica pounded on my front door. "Open up, June. We're not leaving until you explain this ridiculous stunt." Through the window, I saw Trevor's car pull up behind hers. My 3 siblings stormed in like a hurricane. Trevor held up his phone, recording. "For evidence," he said, "in case we need it for legal action." They pushed past me into the living room, Veronica leading the charge. Her eyes scanned the hospital bed in the corner, the lift system in the hallway, and the neatly organized medical supplies on custom shelves. Derek paused at the bathroom door, staring at the roll-in shower and professional grab bars. "This had to cost a fortune," Veronica shrieked, spinning toward the kitchen. Her gaze landed on my desk, where business cards from a recent video call sat. She snatched one and read aloud. "June Mitchell, CEO, Mitchell Restaurant Solutions." Her face paled. "What the?" Derek's tone shifted abruptly. "You've been swindling struggling restaurant owners, haven't you? Preying on desperate businesses." The doorbell rang, Dad's physical therapist, right on time. I let Ellie in, watching my siblings freeze as she set up her equipment. "Good morning, Mr. Mitchell," she said warmly. "Ready to work those legs today?" As she positioned Dad for his exercises, I opened my laptop. My siblings gaped as I logged into my business banking portal. "7 figures," Trevor muttered, zooming in with his phone. "Veronica, you seeing this? She's been hiding assets while explaining nothing," I cut in. "I never asked you for money. I never said I was broke. You just assumed." Veronica was already on her phone. "Mom, you need to hear this. June's been lying to us. She's filthy rich, hiding money while we stressed over Dad's care." I pulled up our old family group chat, scrolling through months of messages I'd been excluded from. There it was. They'd calculated my share of Dad's expenses based on my supposed income. "Based on her cafeteria job, June can contribute $73 a month," Derek had written. "That seems generous," Veronica replied. "She's barely covering her rent. $50 max," Trevor added. "We can't expect more from someone in her position." I showed them the screenshot. "This is what you thought I was worth." The family fortune, or rather the surprise twist of who's actually wealthy, gave me a grim satisfaction. Seeing my siblings realize their poor sister outturned them combined was a thrill I didn't know I needed. Derek pulled out his phone, scrolling to a photo of me from Lincoln Elementary's website. Within seconds, he'd posted it to our extended family group chat with the caption, "Our millionaire sister playing poor." My phone buzzed. The school principal's name flashed on the screen. "June, I'm getting calls about some family emergency. Your brother said you need to be pulled from the roster immediately." "No emergency," I told her. "I'll be there for lunch service as always." "Good, we can't function without you, but June, is everything okay? Your sister called too, and she sounded furious." After hanging up, I got another call from my city office supervisor. June, I just got a call about financial irregularities. Someone claiming to be your family said you're involved in fraud. Veronica didn't even look surprised. People need to know who they're trusting with their kids' meals, she said. Ellie worked with Dad, ignoring the family drama while guiding him through his exercises. Dad's gaze flicked between us, absorbing everything. I closed my laptop. I'm going to see Mom. She deserves to hear the truth from me, not Veronica's hysterics. We're not done, Derek warned. But I was already grabbing my keys, leaving them in my house with Dad and Ellie, trusting her to handle things until I returned. Mom's place was a 20-minute drive. Veronica's version of events had left her in tears at her kitchen table. How could you, she asked, how could you let us worry like this? I opened my phone, pulled up 5 years of business tax records and set them in front of her. Her eyes widened as she processed the figures. You paid more in taxes last year than Derek earns, she whispered. I built this from nothing, I said. Just grit and the skills everyone mocked me for. My phone buzzed with texts from 3 restaurant clients. Heard about your family drama, you okay? Veronica had found my conference bio online, and public information was now a weapon. Another text from Mrs. Lee. Someone was taking photos of your house this morning. Thought you should know. Then one from Dad's nurse. Your brother asked about your real job during my visit. I said nothing, but heads up. I showed Mom the messages. This is what they're doing, trying to tear down what I built because they can't handle being wrong about me. A notification popped up. A new Google review on my business page, posted minutes ago by an anonymous account. Lied to her own family. If she hides from them, what else is she hiding? Untrustworthy. My biggest client called immediately. June, I saw the review. What's going on? I explained briefly, keeping it professional. He listened, then said, I'll post our testimonial today. Anyone who saved my restaurants deserves better than this. When I got home, my siblings were gone. Ellie was wrapping up Dad's session, and he looked tired but pleased. 40% more mobility than last month, she said. Whatever you're doing, it's working. After she left, I sat with Dad as he recovered. My phone was flooded with notifications. Uncle Paul asking if I needed bail money, old classmates worried about social media posts, clients expressing concern. Dad's hand grabbed mine with his good side, squeezing. His eyes were clearer than they'd been since the stroke, meeting mine with understanding. I squeezed back. We're okay, Dad. Let them rage. We know the truth. The next morning, the attacks escalated. Veronica's Facebook posts about family betrayal and hidden wealth went viral overnight. Mutual friends picked sides, most without the full story. I screenshot everything, posts calling me unstable, comments from strangers judging my character. Evidence I might need later at work, serving lunch to 500 elementary school kids. I noticed whispers among the parent volunteers in the cafeteria. Some stared, others avoided eye contact. But Rosa, my coworker of 8 years, stood firm. Anyone who believes that nonsense doesn't know you, she said loudly. 15 years here, never missing a day, treating these kids like your own. The principal stopped by during service. HR wants to meet about financial disclosure concerns. I told them it's absurd. When? Tomorrow at 3, she said. June, I'm in your corner. Whatever's happening with your family doesn't change who you are here. That evening, I installed security cameras around my house. The trash cans had been tampered with, and the promotional flyers in my car for networking were gone. Someone was escalating beyond angry texts. As I set up the cameras, Dad nodded from his wheelchair. His speech therapy was progressing, and he managed. Smart girl. That night, 3 restaurant owners offered to write letters to the school board about my integrity. One owned the board president's favorite diner. She saved us from bankruptcy in 2018, the owner said. I'll make sure they know who June Mitchell really is. The irony wasn't lost on me. My siblings' attempts to ruin my reputation revealed how many people I'd helped through my work. Clients, colleagues, and neighbors saw through the smear campaign, but defending myself while keeping Dad's routine stable was exhausting. The turning point came at a family dinner with Veronica present. Dad spoke his first clear sentence in months. June. Good daughter. Veronica stormed out without a word. The next morning, Derek showed up at the elementary school during my shift. I saw him through the serving window, standing at the cafeteria entrance in his tailored suit, scanning the lunch line like he was conducting an audit. The kids sensed the tension, some pausing to watch this out-of-place stranger. As Derek approached the counter, I kept serving mac and cheese, my hands steady. He leaned over the sneeze guard, his cologne cutting through the cafeteria smells. I could tell he was planning to humiliate me. He demanded I share what he called the fortune I'd stolen from them, his voice carrying across the room, making teachers turn to look.